got a size advantage. The Hound's going to struggle against her. And
Israel back in the game now. Michael Tucker.
there's always should have been a foul call.
Marcus is wide open.
Hey, what's up, Loyola, and welcome back to the Six-Man Report. I'm your host, Rob Ferguson, and my co-host, Brendan Highland. And we have exciting news to report. As usual, the men's lacrosse team keeps on rolling, continued their perfect season, improving to 8-0. And this is the first time they've been 8-0 since 1999 when they started their season 12-0, Brendan. So they are doing very well. And another great stat to add to that is that the team is the only team in NCAA Division I to score 10 or more goals in every game this season. That is unbelievable. I'm really proud of the guys. And Brendan, why don't you tell us about their most recent game?
Well, most recently, Rob, the team, they're number 5 in the country. They just dominated hometown rival UMBC 13-5. And Rob, Mike Sawyer had 5 goals to lead the attack, but 4 of them were straight goals during a 10-0 run. He ended up being named ECAC Offensive Player of the Week. Goalie Jack Runkle saved 13 of 18 shots. It was a career high for him. He was ECAC Defensive Player of the Week. Eric Lusby added 3 goals. Defenseman Reed Ackman, he had 6 ground balls. Josh Hawkins had 5 ground balls. So, Rob, this is a real team effort. They played very well, and once again, they held their opponents scoreless in the third quarter. I mean, the way that this team comes out in the third quarter to start the second half is just suffocating. I mean, they don't allow their opponent to gain any momentum coming out of halftime, and I think that that's what's propelling these big victories.
Yeah, absolutely. The team just continues. Charles Toomey gets his team motivated at half, and we were able to actually catch up with Josh Hawkins and Scott Ratliff from the team, and this is an exclusive from the Six-Man Report, so check out an interview. I was with Scott Ratliff, and Brendan Highland was with Josh Hawkins. Hey, I'm here with junior long stick midfielder Scott Ratliff from the men's lacrosse team. The team's been doing very well this year. Everybody here at Loyola, they're undefeated, 8-0. But Scott, how has this team differed from past year's team? What makes this team so successful this year?
I think the biggest difference between this year and last year has to do with 2 things. I think leadership. Last year we were real young, a lot of sophomores, some freshmen, a lot of juniors on the field. And so this year all those young guys have, had another year to get experience and really step up into leadership roles. And then also our offense. Last year we struggled offensively, but we got the help with Eric Lusby coming back and a few transfers, Sean O'Sullivan, Chris Lane, and we're the only team in college lacrosse to put up 10 goals every game this season, so that's been a huge help.
I just read that. That's a great stat for our team. But, for all of us that don't know lacrosse as well, what is you're a midfielder, long stick midfielder specifically. What is the midfielder's job on the field? What's his primary duty?
Well, with lacrosse now, midfielders have really gotten broken into 2. There's offensive middies and then there's defensive middies. I personally play on the defensive side with the long stick, and so our job really is to get in, play defense. We're involved in the ride, so when the other team turns it over, hopefully stopping them from clearing the ball and staying in, and then after we get a stop to get the ball up and out and get it to our offensive guys before we sub out.
That's excellent. And Coach Toomey, he's always talking about you guys having great second half runs, and it's definitely evident in the score. You guys really do come out of the locker room on fire. What does he say in the locker room at halftime that really propels you guys to that?
Nothing in particular, really. He comes in a lot, and we talk a lot about our fans and the environment that we've had at our game, and that we just really want to give them a good showing and keep them coming back. So I think a lot of the struggles we've had in the first half, the big crowds and the fan support we've had has been a big motivation for the second half.
And, you have Ohio State coming up on Saturday at 1 o'clock. They're a big-name school. How well have they been playing? How good are they? And how have you guys been preparing for them?
We try to treat it just like any other game. It is an in-conference game for us, which makes it more important than the rest. And definitely playing a big-name school like Ohio State is always exciting for a school like Loyola. But, our mindset is one game at a time, try to prepare for all of them the same, and hopefully get another win.
That's great. And Brendan and I were talking before the show that, there's some naysayers out there who don't believe Loyola has that ability to win the big game. What do you say to those people?
I welcome it. I think we as a team welcome it. We weren't ranked at the start of this season. We were outside the top 20 for the first time in a long time, and that's been a big motivation for us, and I think it's going to continue to be, and we'll keep using it every week and hopefully keep winning.
Well, Scott, thanks for joining us here in the Six-Man Report. Good luck to you guys in the future, and good luck on Saturday, and I'm sure you guys are going to do great.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm here with Josh Hawkins, junior defensive midfielder on the number 5 ranked men's Loyola lacrosse team. And Josh, so far this season, the team's 8-0. What do you attribute to this team's success thus far this season?
First would be the offense. We got a solid offense, a few transfers that are really doing big things for us. O'Sullivan, Lane, and we got Mike Sawyer back. So they're really high-powered offensive guys that can sling the ball and get it in the back of the net. Second thing is defense. We've been a solid group all year, just preparing the right way every week for our opponent and knowing our matchups. And the third thing, I guess, would be our captains. Definitely have a solid group of 4 captains that are doing a great job and leading the team and listening to everybody and just getting everyone on the same page every week.
Yeah, that's very important. And you spoke about that defense. Defense has been playing very well of late. Really, they've been dominating teams. In the second half particularly, you guys have only allowed 26 second-half goals in 8 games this year. That's pretty good. What, I guess, happens at halftime or going into halftime that really allows you guys to come out so strong in the second half defensively?
Well, like you said, our second half has been our best half. And I guess it's just recognizing and knowing our opponent and knowing what they're going to do once we see them run around for maybe a couple plays or so. Start out slow the first quarter, which has been our Achilles heel of the whole year, allowing a few goals at the beginning. But like you said, our second half is always our best half, and we just learn our matchup and settle down in D and just play the ball pretty well. So
yeah, and this team obviously been playing very well. The defense has really been playing well. The offense has been playing great as well. Josh, how far do you think that this team can get? Is this a national championship caliber ball club?
I definitely think so. The whole league has been pretty wide open this whole year. Big name teams have been losing. We've been doing pretty well. Beat Duke. We're winning the games we need to. We definitely have the caliber of players that can compete for a championship. 3 of our coaches have played in national championships with Loyola, and they definitely have the confidence in us, and we have the confidence in ourselves that we can go that far.
Yeah. And, for those of us who aren't student athletes, we don't really know the grinds of it all, and especially the travel when you guys go on the road. And after this week's game against Ohio State, you go on the road to Fairfield, to Denver, and to Hobart, 3 straight road games, and obviously Denver being, a pretty far travel. What toll does that take on your body, mentally as well as physically, in getting prepared for these games?
Week to week, preparing for a game is always the same. Especially when you're going away, you got to deal with hostile environments, especially like Fairfield and Denver. Denver, you got to deal with the altitude change. You got to acclimate to the altitude and how that affects your breathing while you're playing. In past years, I think we've paid a little bit too much attention to going out to Denver and playing under those conditions. And I like to see this year that we just focus on actually playing and have fun and just go out there. I like being away personally. I love home fans and that whole environment, but I feel like going away and beating someone in their environment is just that much more satisfying.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And, Josh, you missed the first 4 games of the year. What was it like to see your team win and win big in those games? And then how did that motivate your return to the lineup? Because since you've come back, you've been playing great for this team. What was it like seeing that and then knowing that, okay, I have to come back in and I have to continue where this team is at right now? Exactly.
I was just biting at the teeth to get back in there. Seeing the team successful, I just want to be a part of it. It was good to see the team do so well. And for me to jump back in and be a part of it again, it was very satisfying and a great feeling just to be back in it with the guys. And it definitely motivated me seeing how well they played and how much fun they were having just to get back out there.
Right.
So, it's been a great year so far.
It's been a good run. Well, Josh, thanks for joining us on the 6 Man Report, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
So we just want to thank Scott and Josh for joining us here on the 6 Man, and we hope to see more players in the near future. But the team does verse Ohio State on Saturday, and I know everybody's looking for a little bit of revenge for what happened to the men's basketball team in the NCAA tournament. And I think that we definitely have a good chance of taking them down. Brendan, what do you think?
Well, Rob, Ohio State, they're not playing very well this year. This is the 6th time that these teams will meet. The Hounds have won all 5 meetings. Ohio State's 1-5 in their last 6 games. That one win being their most previous game. They won 13-2, I believe it was, against Bellarmine. So it was a big win, but when you're 1-5 and you're playing against a team who's as hot as we are right now, I don't like. If I was an Ohio State fan, I wouldn't like their chances. As a Greyhound fan, I love our chances.
Exactly.
So I think that
Yep.
we'll take care of business.
Yeah, and according to Scott, they are a good team. So, we do have to, go out there and give it our all. And the game will be at 1 o'clock this Saturday at Ridley. So I know everybody's going to want to get out there for that.
It's Alumni Day too, so I'm sure a lot of alumni will be back. Maybe even some current MLL Major League Lacrosse players. For those of you who don't know. So I just think that it'll be a good atmosphere to be in with both current Greyhound fans, obviously, with former Greyhound players. I think it'll be an exciting atmosphere.
So super fans, obviously, get out to that game and support the team. And let's keep this undefeated streak rolling throughout the season. But let's hop into women's lacrosse now. Brendan, they had a huge comeback victory against number 13 Georgetown. They won 15-14 in overtime. Annie Thomas netted the overtime goal with 37 seconds left in the game. An exciting victory. They were struggling. Brendan, what do you think this game means for them?
Well, Rob, it's just another momentum game. They had that tough loss to JMU last week. This week against Georgetown is a big win, especially in overtime on the road against a good opponent. And, I've said it all year, this team is full of promising freshmen. Hannah Schmidt had 3 goals in this game. Sydney Thomas tied a career high with 4 goals. You said Annie Thomas, she had the game winner for them. These freshmen, they're gaining experience as they play. And, I was listening to a broadcast of one of the NCAA tournament basketball games, and they said there's no such thing as a freshman mistake anymore. Well, now, you're kind of seeing that in all collegiate sports now. There really isn't such thing as a freshman mistake. And this girls lacrosse team right now is a prime example of that.
Yeah, so this was a huge victory to get back to form. They were pre-ranked 7th in the nation. They had a tough start at 4-3. So beating Georgetown was huge. Now they're 5-3. But let's talk about the weekend coming up, Brendan. They have Cincinnati on Friday and Notre Dame on Sunday, and Notre Dame is ranked 6th in the country. So this is a huge opportunity for the Greyhounds to maybe, propel them back into talks about them being a national contender. Do you agree, Brendan?
Yeah, I do agree with this. And, this is a big weekend. Cincinnati, obviously, I look at it as one of those games where it's almost like a trap game. I don't want this team to be looking ahead to playing Notre Dame. I know that they're one of the top teams in the country, one of the top teams in the Big East. But you have to take it one game at a time, and you can't overlook the Cincinnati team. It's a good team. They can't be overlooked. And then that showdown on Sunday against Notre Dame, that's a huge game. And I think, as I just said with these freshmen, a lot of these freshmen, they might be geared up to play Notre Dame. They might overlook Cincinnati. I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but I think that, they'll come out, they'll play hard, and really, I'm excited for this whole weekend of Loyola Lacrosse action. And I think that the girls, I think they'll beat Cincinnati, and I think that they'll play Notre Dame tough. Whether or not they'll win will obviously yet to be determined, but I think they'll play hard, and I think they'll keep it close.
Yeah, so we have 3 great home games this weekend for both lacrosse teams. You have Cincinnati at 7 o'clock on Friday. The men's lacrosse team will be playing Ohio State at 1 o'clock. And then the women have Notre Dame, which is a huge game for them, at 1 o'clock on Sunday. So, everybody get out there, support the teams this weekend, and, hopefully they keep rolling and giving us the great seasons they have been. From the 6-Man Report, I'm Rob Fredrickson.
I'm Brendan Highland.
We'll catch you next week, Loyola.